The courtroom wasn't expected to erupt today. It was supposed to be a standard hearing, routine, predictable, until the clerk rolled in a small evidence cart with a sealed USB drive resting on top, instantly shifting the mood of the entire room. No one knew what it contained. No one imagined a single file could turn an ordinary session into the most talked about moment of the year. The judge glanced at the sealed envelope and Todd Tucker went rigid. His complexion drained, his breathing faltered, and the sweat collecting on his palms revealed more than any words could. Kandi Burruss sat motionless beside him, her jaw locked, as if bracing for something she could sense but not yet see. Then the prosecutor delivered the line that split the atmosphere in two. This is the alleged bedroom footage involving T.I. and Kandi Burruss. A silence followed, sharp enough to feel physical. Todd rose unsteadily, his voice cracking as he reached toward the judge. "Your Honor, please don't play that tape." His tone carried the panic of someone who knew his truth, his marriage, and everything he had built were seconds from falling apart. The judge turned calmly toward the screen and gave a small nod. Everything shifted. The nod changed the room. The air seemed to tighten, as if everyone understood they were about to witness something never meant for public eyes. Even the fluorescent lights buzzed louder, flickering just enough to add a colder, heavier tension. Todd's breathing became shallow, his hands gripping the defense table as though letting go would make him collapse. Kandi didn't react at all. No blink, no movement. She stared straight ahead, wishing she could hold the moment still for even 10 seconds. But courtrooms don't pause. They move forward whether you're ready or not. The prosecutor stepped forward with slow, deliberate movements, setting the sealed USB on the evidence desk, as if handling something hazardous. People in the gallery leaned in. Some inhaled sharply. A woman in the back grabbed her chest like she was watching a disaster unfold in real time. Everyone had heard the rumors. Everyone had seen the conversations online. But hearing the phrase alleged bedroom footage spoken in open court was different. It crossed the line from gossip into potential damage. A tech assistant approached the computer. That was when Todd broke. He slammed his hand on the table, his voice cracking louder than he meant. "Stop. Don't touch that. Don't. Please, don't." The judge lifted a hand, signaling him to sit, but Todd didn't. He wasn't acting like someone defending a legal argument. He looked like a man watching his life unravel. He stepped forward until two security officers positioned themselves nearby, prepared to step in if needed. "Your Honor," Todd said, voice shaking, "you don't understand. You don't know what people think that tape shows." His words trembled so much they were barely coherent. The judge's expression didn't change. It was firm, steady. "This hearing requires transparency, Mr. Tucker," the judge stated evenly. "If the evidence is part of the case, it must be reviewed." A wave of gasps moved through the courtroom. People exchanged looks, some surprised, some eager, some unsettled by the scene playing out. Kandi finally blinked. Her eyes glazed over as if her mind had drifted somewhere else. She murmured something too quiet for anyone to catch. Her fingers twisted together, knuckles whitening as her hands trembled. For her, this wasn't spectacle. It was a deeply personal humiliation, weaponized and placed on full display. The tech assistant unsealed the packet. A soft click echoed through the room. A small sound, barely noticeable, but it struck Todd like a blow. His breath caught. His vision went unfocused, and he took another unsteady step forward. "Your Honor, please, if you play that, you won't just damage the case. You'll harm people who never agreed to be pulled into this." The courtroom filled with hushed conversation. What's on it?
Is it real? Is it AI? Did TI release it? And then came the quietest but most unsettling question. Why does Todd look that afraid? One thing was clear. This wasn't just evidence. It was a potential disaster sitting in plain sight. The judge looked at the display again. The tech assistant hovered the cursor over the file. The thumbnail was blurred, no preview at all. That alone sent a wave of nervous tension through the room. Kandi swallowed hard, her voice barely a whisper. It's not real. It can't be real. It can't.
Todd leaned toward her, his hand stopping just short of hers. Don't look at it. Whatever happens, don't look. His voice cracked on the last syllable. That was when the judge spoke again, this time more sharply. Mr. Tucker, if you continue to interrupt, I will have you removed. The video will be reviewed with or without you. Todd shut his eyes, his entire body shaking like he was holding himself together by force. The thought of leaving Kandi to face whatever people believed this tape contained was too much. He slowly stepped back, hands raised, voice breaking. I'm sorry, I'll stop. Just don't let this hurt her. Please. That plea softened even some of the harshest expressions in the room. Members of the audience who had been eager for scandal now shifted uncomfortably. Todd no longer looked like someone trying to hide guilt. He looked like someone watching the last piece of his life slip away. The judge exhaled and signaled for the tech worker to continue. The cursor hovered. The entire room tightened. Click. A loading bar appeared on the screen. Todd's legs nearly gave out. Kandi's breath hitched. Someone whispered, "Oh my God." The screen flickered. A bright frame appeared, then froze. Static broke across the image. A new message suddenly appeared in bold white letters. Play it, and you'll regret it. The courtroom fell silent. Todd's eyes went wide. Kandi grabbed the table. The prosecutor stepped back in confusion. The judge leaned forward, startled. The message stayed there, pulsing faintly. Someone connected to that USB, someone aware of this exact moment, had taken over the system in real time, and the real trouble was only beginning. Everyone felt the air drop in temperature as those words remained on the screen. Play it, and you'll regret it. It didn't appear like a malfunction. It didn't resemble a technical issue. It came across as a direct warning to the judge, the lawyers, the audience, and especially Todd and Kandi. The judge leaned closer, squinting, his voice low and uncertain. This isn't part of the file. For the first time, he sounded unsure, a regular person, unsettled. The tech assistant stepped back quickly, as if the screen had become dangerous. I didn't do anything, he said shakily. It just appeared. Todd held the back of his chair, trying to steady himself as his heartbeat hammered in his ears. Someone else had control. Not the court, not the attorneys. Someone unseen. Someone watching. Kandi finally spoke, her voice thin but cutting through the quiet. This isn't normal. This isn't some leak. Someone is doing this intentionally. Todd nodded, jaw tight. And they're not finished. Before anyone could respond, the screen glitched again. Sharp static flashed. The message faded out. A black screen appeared. Then, slowly, another line came into view. You don't know the truth. A woman in the back gasped loudly. Attorneys whispered among themselves, uneasy. The judge tapped his gavel once. Not for silence, but because he needed to regain composure. The courtroom no longer felt like a legal setting. It felt compromised. The prosecutor, shaken but trying to appear steady, stepped closer. Your Honor, this may be evidence tampering. We need to... But he stopped mid-sentence. The lights flickered again. This time, they stayed out longer. 2 full seconds of darkness, far too long. When they returned, the scene had changed. The video player was open. The timestamp read 00/043. Whoever had hijacked the system hadn't just interfered, they had opened the file. Todd staggered backward, fear spreading across his face. "Turn it off. Turn it off now!" But the play button glowed brightly, pulsing steadily. The judge tried to speak, but the speakers crackled before he said a word. Someone else, unidentified, held full control. A distorted voice filled the courtroom, stretched and warped. "Truth always comes out." Kandi clutched her chest. Todd stepped in front of her, bracing himself. The screen brightened, white static, then a vague room, shadows shifting. Nothing was clear yet, but the suggestion alone made the tension unbearable. People shifted in their seats, torn between fear and curiosity. Phones. Phones were lifted quietly, ready to capture what felt like a historic moment, the kind of scandal that would spread online within seconds. But before the image could fully load, an unexpected sound cut through the room. A loud crack came from the back door, not the speakers. Everyone jerked around, startled. A security guard rushed over. "Did anyone come in? Anyone touch the door?" No one responded. The judge's voice returned, tense and shaking. "Shut off the screen, now." But the courtroom speakers cut him off. "You think you can hide what you did?" The voice was clearer this time, still altered, but distinct enough for Todd's expression to shift instantly. It sounded male, calm, intentional. Someone who knew exactly what they were doing. The screen flashed twice, then the video began to sharpen. A figure appeared, someone sitting at the edge of a bed as the camera slowly panned. "No!" Todd yelled, surging forward. Security grabbed him immediately, holding him as he struggled, not out of rage, but sheer panic. "You don't understand. It's not real. Stop it." Kandi reached toward him, her voice breaking. "Todd, please." Then the video froze, right before revealing the faces, and a new message appeared on the screen. "If you want the full tape, follow the instructions." The judge stood up, furious. "Who is accessing my courtroom?" No one had an answer. The prosecution looked stunned. The defense was silent, and even the audience was motionless. Kandi lowered her head into her hands, shaking. Todd stared at her, devastated. They're not just leaking things, they're shaping the story. The screen suddenly went black. No controls, no menu. Whoever controlled it had simply ended the broadcast. Before the judge could officially end the hearing, Todd's phone vibrated loudly in his pocket. His hands shook as he pulled it out. One notification, no name, no number, just a message. He opened it, and his knees nearly gave out. "Todd, you should have never fought the truth." Attached was a 43-second video, the same length as the one in court. Todd lifted his head slowly, drained of color. They sent it to my phone. And the ordeal continued. He stared at the glowing screen like it was a warning. Same timestamp, same duration, same threat. Kandi covered her mouth, her fingers trembling. "Todd, please don't open it." He wasn't breathing steadily. His chest rose and fell in sharp, shaky bursts, as if holding the phone alone was overwhelming. The courtroom noise around them blurred. Gasps, murmurs, frantic whispers, everything fading behind the shock of what was happening. The judge slammed the gavel. "Court is adjourned. Everyone out, now." But nobody moved. All attention remained on Todd and the message he held.
Security began clearing rows, but even they looked unsettled, aware this wasn't a routine disruption. This felt targeted. Kandi reached for Todd's wrist. "Give it to me." He pulled back, voice unsteady. "They sent it directly to me. They want me to see it. They want to break you," she said quietly. Outside the courtroom, the scene was chaotic. Recordings, reporters shouting, rumors spreading instantly. Security ushered Todd and Kandi into a private hallway. Their tech consultant, Miles, ran toward them, out of breath.
"I saw the screen. What happened? Someone hijacked everything." Todd grabbed his arm. "Miles, someone just sent the same video to my phone." Miles froze. "Don't open it. It could be malware or tracking software. Just lock it and hand it over." But Todd stepped back, tightening his grip. "No, whoever sent this wants me to see it. They want me cornered." Kandi shook her head, tears forming. "Todd, don't fall into it. That's exactly their plan." But Todd's eyes were on the thumbnail, just a black box with the timestamp, silent, threatening, pulling his attention like a hook. Miles approached slowly. "Todd, think. If someone can breach a courtroom system, they can breach your phone. They could be tracking everything right now." "Tracking us?" Kandi whispered. "Why?" Miles lowered his voice. "For whatever comes next." A heavy silence settled. Todd finally exhaled and slipped the phone into his pocket. "I'm not playing it. Not yet." Kandi squeezed his hand. "Good. We're not letting anonymous messages ruin us, especially with something that might not even be real." They continued down the hallway with security beside them. Halfway through, Todd's phone vibrated again. He froze. Another anonymous message appeared. He hesitated, then opened it. "If you won't watch it, she will." Todd's face went cold. He turned the phone toward Kandi. Her knees nearly failed. A photo, taken only minutes earlier, their front door. "They're threatening me now," she whispered. Another message followed. Not a screenshot, not an old picture. A brand new image, captured in real time. Kandi backed into the wall, eyes wide. Todd, they're outside our house." Todd's breath broke. How? How are they everywhere?" Miles's voice dropped to a whisper. "Because they've been watching you longer than you realized." Todd followed the guards toward the parking garage, but his brain was spinning too fast to keep up. Whoever was behind the hacked files, the courtroom glitch, the footage from inside their house, this wasn't random. This was a hunt, and it wasn't slowing down. Just as they reached the exit, Todd's phone lit up again. A third notification. His stomach knotted. He didn't want to check it, but he had no choice. This time, it wasn't a video or a text. It was a 3-second audio clip. He hit play. A warped, gravelly whisper leaked through the speaker. "You can't stop the truth." Kandi staggered, the words cutting straight through her. "Todd, what truth? What are they talking about?" He couldn't answer. Maybe because he genuinely had no idea. Or maybe, much worse, because he did. And he couldn't force himself to say it out loud. Security shoved open the garage door. "Move! Move!" But Todd didn't. The second he stepped into the echoing concrete space, he stopped cold. Because across the garage, half buried in shadow, leaning casually against a support pillar like they'd been waiting all day, was a hooded figure. Still. Silent. Locked onto him. Then, slowly, they raised one hand. A phone glowed between their fingers. Todd's device buzzed instantly. Another message. "Turn around." His pulse crashed to a halt. Because he had turned around, exactly as the message ordered, before he even opened it. Before you scroll past this moment, think about what we just watched unfold. Whoever is orchestrating these leaks, these warnings, these perfectly timed messages, they're operating without fear. They're not hiding in the shadows anymore. They're stepping right into Todd's path.
They're tightening the noose. Today didn't expose chaos. It exposed strategy. And the more this unravels, the more obvious it becomes. None of this is coincidence. It's a targeted strike meant to blow the entire scandal open in real time. So now it's your turn. Lay it out. Raw, unfiltered. Who do you think is steering this entire operation? Is this T.I. pulling strings behind the curtain? Someone inside the family with a grudge? A stalker-level hacker who's been observing them for months? Or is this a move in a deeper, darker game none of us have connected the dots on yet? Drop your theories in the comments, because together those patterns might point to answers nobody else is catching. And if this breakdown had your heart racing, or if you felt that exact chill the courtroom did when the screen first glitched, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm you're locked in for the next chapter. And you already know, the next chapter is about to blow the doors off everything. Share this with anyone following this saga from day one. Let them know the situation just escalated past the point of no return. And most importantly, subscribe with notifications on. Because the next leak, the next message, the next twist, it's already in motion. And trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next.